Notion released their 3.2 update, and in this video, I wanted to quickly walk you through all the new changes and features so you can implement them into your own workspaces. If you find this video useful, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. The first update that I wanted to share with you all is that you can now access a people database that's automatically created for you inside of Notion so that you can manage all of the people who are using your Notion workspace. And to do that, you can go to settings, and then if you go to people here, you'll be able to click view people directory. When you click that open, you'll now see the people directory here, and you'll also be able to see them in card view like this. You can open it up to find more information as well, such as the membership type, their email address. You can fill in their about, the team spaces that they're in, recent activity, and so on. One thing that's really good with this people directory is that you can add your custom properties. So some of these properties, as you can see, you can't delete, but some of the properties you'll be able to just add. So one thing I recommend is if you've been handling this manually, meaning that in your workspace you have a people directory that you created before this update, then I might recommend you to actually just switch over to this one since you have all of the current information, and you'll be able to still add various custom properties to this ready-made people directory that just comes with Notion. And another thing that some people might not know is that you can even do a linked view of this. So let's say that I create a new page, and this is the home, like a team space home, and you actually want to link the people directory here. You can do /linked view of data source and actually just look for the people directory, and you'll find it here. And you'll be able to just choose your view, and just like any other Notion database, you can also change the layout as well depending on how you want to see it. You can filter out things like the membership type so that you don't see deactivated members here, and so on. So I would recommend trying this out. Next, we have some Notion Mail updates. The first update to Notion Mail is that if you go to the accounts, you can now add multiple accounts for your Notion Mail, and now you can switch with Control 1, Control 2 based on the keyboard shortcut, so you can switch between your work and personal emails seamlessly within Notion Mail. The other thing with Notion Mail that I think is one of the most useful features that they just added is that you can add directly to Notion through Notion Mail. So what that looks like is if I open up an email, and let's say that someone is contacting me about Notion coaching services, and I want to just quickly add this to my to-do list so that I can remember to send an email back to them or provide a quote as needed. So if I have something like this, I can just go to this button, Add to Notion. And as you can see, you can select the workspace, select the database. In this case, I just want to add it directly to my to-do list, so I can just click Add to Notion. Once I do that, I can quickly go to that page by clicking here. And this is just a sample database, but you can see that it already added the item to my to-do list. And you can also see the email in this nicely formatted way. You can just open it in Notion Mail as well with this button. So I like the seamlessness between Notion Mail and Notion now, especially when it comes to saving the emails. Next, we have a very small but useful Notion calendar update, which is that you can now hide your context panel so that you can have a full view of your calendar. So what that looks like is if we hide this one and we hide this context panel over here. But if you click on one of your items, you'll still be able to see that context panel, and you can also just add that to the side this way as well. So you can still have access to that, but now you just have a really nice clean look where you can hide everything and see a full view of what you need to do. Now let's go over some of the new Notion AI updates, and that is that you have access to more models. So you can see here all of the options that you have in terms of what you can chat with inside of Notion. You can also just set it to auto so that it chooses the right model for what you're doing. And what's cool is that no matter what model you use, you are able to store your Notion AI instructions pages so that it remembers things even if you switch different models. Another thing with the new AI updates is that you can now also use your AI meeting notes really easily from the phone. So you can just click the AI meeting notes, start transcribing, and you can just use your phone for that, which means that you can even take this on the go and easily record your voice notes or bring them to actual meetings. Another thing is that you can now use your AI agent directly from your mobiles. Next, let's go over some integration updates. The first one I wanted to talk about is Notion and Jira. You can now do a two-way sync if you have the enterprise plan. And I think that this is really big, especially if you are using Notion as a company, your engineering team is using Jira, you no longer have this problem of syncing the two, so you can have them do a two-way sync. The other one that's recently been announced is that you can search your Asana tasks and projects from Notion. Again, that's a really useful connector that you can add if you also use Asana. And finally, I wanted to go over some very small updates that they also announced so that you know what's changed. And one of them is that you can now search a page, and if you have, for example, accents, you can simply just type like this to look for it, and things work correctly. So you can find those words without having to type exactly what's there. And another thing is that you can add confetti buttons. So if you click here, you can see that this button is very simple. You just insert blocks. And once I create that button, I can click the 6 dots here and choose a click effect. So if I click here now, you can see that confetti show up. And I'm hoping that Notion actually adds more of these. I think that will be really fun if there's more button animations. A few others is that there's been improvements for Notion MCP for enterprise, so you'll be able to track MCP activity and audit logs and query multiple databases. They're also saying that soon you'll be able to control which external AI tools can connect to your workspace. And another thing they announced is that there's been huge performance improvements for desktop. So Pages on Windows open 27% faster, Mac desktop is up 11%. So I think that one of the biggest problems with Notion, especially in the past, was how slow it felt. So I think that it's actually getting much better. And I personally feel like I rarely have to wait for things to load. So I'm really happy with that. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts about this update, and I hope to see you all in the next video.